Industrial Safety Council of Nigeria, Institutional Security and Civil Defense Corps, Government, Federal and State, National Transport Association, Freight Operator, South Industrial and Transport Safety Hub of Nigeria, Akwa Ibom State Local Content Compliance Monitoring Committee, Employers Consultative Association, Trade Union and related union representatives. The said committee, JASCON, is saddled with the responsibility to fully support and implement the Road Transportation Safety Standardization Scheme, which was created by law in the National Road Traffic Regulation, made portion to the Section 5 and 10 of the Federal Road Safety Corps, establishment of 2007, to establish a safety unit for all transport operators as to bring professionalism into the industry, promote and develop efficient and convenient freight transportation system in the country, and the working principle to host the South-South National Transport Occupational Health and Safety Conference, Akwa Ibom State 2024 in Akwa Ibom State, to ensure advancement of workplace risk and accident preventable culture, which forms the themes of this conference. The Joint National Transport Safety Committee Nigeria, JASCON, has its statutory power of enforcing compliance bordering on the transport, occupational health, environment and safety matters, of strategic national initiatives and provision of the relevant extant laws. The Joint National Transport Safety Committee, JASCON, has its vision, mission for the achievement of the said goal, which includes to prevent trucks, freight and cargo crashes, as well as other occupational health and safety injuries and fatalities throughout Nigeria, thereby ensuring that our workplace environment in JASCON are endowed with the following duty and responsibility. 1. To develop a policy and strategic plan for trucks transport safety compliance, strategic safety management, and submit same to the federal government of Nigeria for review and approval and for public engagement. To monitor and evaluate the implementation of the policy and the strategic plans to mitigate truck crashes and road traffic accidents and other fatalities associated with the value chain of the transport, safety, health and environment. To advise the government on the installation of the safety equipment and to disseminate policy and information relating to transport, occupational health and safety and environmental value chain across the country. To maintain the register of the professional members within the operational jurisdictional scope of the Joint National Transport Committee, JASCON. To advance the professional development of practitioners and stakeholders through different avenues like seminars, public engagement, enlightenment, and the rest. In this case, it is pertinent, and it must be noted that JASCON, the Joint National Transport Safety Committee, has what we call the jurisdictional scope, and such scope includes road freight and transport safety advocacy, compliance and enforcement, truck drivers HSC training and transport safety audits, truck drivers health and life insurance compliance, truck transit park operational safety operation and compliance, truck driver management, occupational health and safety value chain across all sectors in Nigeria economy. And the co-host of the conference, Akwa Ibom State Local Content Compliance Monitoring Committee, AKS LCMC, is an on-tenure committee set up, inaugurated, and saddled with the mandate and responsibility as enshrined in the terms of preference and to refresh on various relevant laws of the state and in collaboration with the regulatory compliance enforcement agency to ensure the reasonable participation and inclusivity of Akwa Ibom State and its indigene in the local content elements of any operator or company operating in the geographical divination or nomenclature and sovereignty of the states. It is the local content. It is the local content provision of Akwa Ibom State law and the committee terms of preference that address the compliance enforcement of occupational health, safety, and environment on the committee. Akwa Ibom State Local Content Compliance Monitoring Committee, AKS LCCMC. It is on this trend that the committee has the power and the jurisdiction to partner and collaborate with the necessary organs of government, organization, establishment, and regulatory agency to enforce compliance of occupational health and safety. And this is also demonstrated in partnering with the Joint National Transport Safety Committee, JASCOM, in hosting an international conference of this nature, South-South National Industrial Transport Conference, which has been fixed and to be hosted in Akwa Ibom State. Consequently, it is our pleasure as an advocacy of compliance enforcement committee to respectfully invite you, the entire public, all over the world to attend this world-class South-South Transport, Occupational Health and Safety Environmental Conference, Akwa Ibom State 2024, holding in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, for the achievement of the underlisted benefits. So, professional development, compliance with the national policy on occupational health and safety guidelines and safety laws, exhibition of goods, services, innovation, intellectual properties, patronage, and the technological transfer, upgrades and updates for national compliance enforcement directive and national initiatives, networking and collaboration packages, skill, innovation and technological transfer, business and employment opportunity for personal and organizational economic development, updates in the business and professional community, etc. We would like to bring this international press conference and media interaction and chat to a close by submitting that safety is a business. It is an investment for everybody. Therefore, let's invest and have good returns on investment by attending, sponsoring, exhibiting, and participating in the planned South-South Transport, Occupational Health and Safety Conference, Akwa Ibom State 2024, holding in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. God bless Federal Republic of Nigeria. God bless Akwa Ibom State. God bless Safety Conscious Nigeria. God bless professional and compliant agency, body and organization. God bless the Akwa Ibom State Local Content Compliance Monitoring Committee, AKS LCCMC. God bless Joint National Transport Safety Committee, Nigeria, JASCOM. This presentation is delivered and presented by Dr. John Prefer, PhD, the Chairman, JASCOM, Akwa Ibom State Chapter, on behalf of its ESCO in Akwa Ibom State and other critical partners for 2024 Industrial, Transport and Occupational Safety Conference, BFOU 2024. May God bless everybody. And it is my submission that we should propagate the contents of this press conference to all nooks and corners and to all parts of the world, and ensure that since safety is a collective business and responsibility, let's come together. Let's also get involved in attending the planned conference and also be rewarded and benefit with the numerous benefits of attending such conference. Be that blessed. May God bless everybody.
Please, let's appreciate our chairman. Chairman of JASCAN Akwa Ibom State. Thank you. That was the first part, and we are moving straight to the interactive session. So at this point in time, I believe, since this is a media chat, so to speak, we have a whole lot of journalists in the house. You can meet the journalists and have interaction with them and don't have them ask you questions. And I hope a whole lot of them, some of them have jotted one or two questions down that they wish to ask the leadership and the chairman. So at this point, I leave the floor open and we welcome questions from the journalists. Interactive session. Please, I think the chairman and those involved can jot down some of this so that these questions will be attended once and for all. We welcome questions, please. Please, you will introduce yourself as you take the mic. Let's start from that end. Please kindly pass the mic down there. I think let's come from that side first.
Okay, I think you can hear me. Thank you very much. Please, my question is from. Thank you, sir. Once again, I'm Lovina of Daily Post. My question is from 4.0, sir. You itemize the various task force that will ensure the enforcement of the provisions of the Act. Now, I want to find out before now, what is the level of compliance by public, by members of public and your members? The level of compliance, is it satisfactory?
Okay, that will be answered. Thank you so much for your questions. The next person, please.
My name is Ito Obasi, inside this one. Please, I'd like you to expatiate further on the component, the occupational health safety OHS component of this conference. I'd like you to expatiate on that.
All right, thank you, Ito Obasi.
Once again, good evening, Chairman and members. As I catch my name, I work with the new CNC of Nigeria now. But summary of the old text, it is all about safety and safety consciousness. I want to find out what is the organization doing, because going through this, by 2023, it is estimated that road crashes should reduce by about 50%.
There was no data inside here. What I mean by that is, you've been able to give us theories of what you do, without even itemizing or even telling us, oh, in the past we have been able to train one truck driver, two truck drivers. Because I noticed from operational jurisdiction 1.18.0, you said it's one of your duties to to train truck drivers and transport safety audit, do transport safety audits. So I'd like to know, has there been audits done on transport drivers or trainings done for them in the past? How successful has it been? So that we can put that, juxtapose that with the kind of drivers we have today on the roads. And also, I'd like to also talk about the state of parking of trucks in Akwa Ibom State currently, and that also goes to the local monitoring, compliance monitoring. Who regulates it? Who sees to it? Because there's a major estate in Akwa Ibom, or some other estate. We have the Vortex place. If you go there, they have trucks parked by both ways. Sometimes you have to wait for them to, pull up before a biker can drive. So I want to know, is your organization aware of such things? So who gives the go-ahead? And then lastly, I know this has something to do with the Akwa Ibom State government, so long Akwa Ibom State local content compliance monitoring is concerned. So I'd like to throw this in. Recently, a state government made a press statement concerning banning of illegal fuel, black market. That has to do with safety. if you want to put it by the number of people selling black market in Akwa Ibom State, and should I say the rapid response we will expect from fire service should there be any unfortunate fire outbreak, who is seeing to it that such things are being monitored? Thank you. I want to know. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for all those brilliant questions there. Mr. Chairman, I don't know if you can attempt those ones first, or should we still take
I think this.
Let's go with this one first.
Let's go with this one first. Hello. I want to take the last, starting from the last to the top. So the question was that what is the data or statistics or compliance when you're on the audits on the items we have, enlisted in our presentation. Actually in Akwa Ibom State, the conference that we are about to host will give birth to enforcement. It is when the enforcement is done in the state, that's when we will have the realistic data. But in other states that the inoculation has already taken place, they are driving to zero tolerance. Like in Lagos, there is zero tolerance enforcement. There is a zero tolerance compliance enforcement in Lagos when it comes to compliance, including some of the initiatives and directives that has been initiated in Lagos. It is jointly enforced by Joint National Transport Safety Committee and Lagos Safety Council. They are the first that has been launched and the enforcement commenced. You have to obtain what we call operational permit and clearance. So no matter how small that project is, and also that clearance covers the workers' competencies and also covers the operation on the site. If you use SCAVO, the SCAVO compliance clearance must also be obtained. So, but in Akwa Ibom State, immediately we have structured all the compliance initiatives and directives in line with the expectations of the mandates of the Joint National Compliance Committee, Safety Committee, and that of the Akwa Ibom State Local Content. When that one is done, we will enforce compliance towards a zero tolerance. And in our subsequent conference, we will be able to give realistic data of compliance based on several enforcement compliance activities and also the audits activities that will be carried out across all sectors of economy. Because the Joint National Transport Safety Committee does not only enforce compliance on the transport value chain, but it cut across all sectors of the economy. So, like the filling station, like the supermarket, eateries, hotels, water producing and other products manufacturing company, including the blocks manufacturing company. Some of them, if you go to blocks producers, you know that they will maximize. You will see that they will now produce 50 pieces of blocks from one bag of cement, which is supposed not to be so. The standard is supposed to be 25 to 80. So it is this compliance that will help to checkmate that. What will be the benefits of that? It will reduce the number of building collapse and the fatal incident associated with the buildings collapses in Akwa Ibom State. When we finish the conference and inauguration of the strategic age school and the flag up of the compliance initiatives and directive embedded in this document of our press conference, which we've just read. That's that. So, like when it comes to the parking, who regulates who parks on the road? So before now, there is a law, and the law, the federal government law, that stipulates that no driver has the power to park on the road. If you park without waiver, without authorization, you have to pay 10 million naira. The law is there, and it is given to us for enforcement. So after our conference and inauguration of these programs, we will simulate and sanitize, stimulate to ensure that drivers are aware. This conference will give the awareness. The press conference we are here now also sanitizes the publics and the communities and different constituencies on the enforcement requirement on this, that trucks, vehicles are not parked except on your risk of paying 10 million. So if you now know the risk of paying 10 million for parking your truck illegally on the road, it will now be left for you to caution yourself. So before now, we have been communicating to different companies, Champion Freeways, Ubertex, some company operating in Akwa Ibom State, local government chairman, on the need to inform their drivers that the trucks, the owner of trucks, which provide services and support to them on this requirement, that they don't have right to park on the road except they obtain what we call clearance or waiver. That waiver will direct them where to park or provide a continuous surveillance covering that vehicle while parking there in a given time. And outside that, the person, the defaulter, will be responsible to pay a penalty of 10 million. That is in the law. If that is not done, the Joint National Transport Committee has the power to eradicate, to move away that truck to a safe anchorage, where the truck will stay until the punishment is appropriated to the defaulter. And also on the aspect of black markets of hydrocarbons, fuel and kerosene by the roadside. You see, it is a strategy towards advancement of safety. Even though the people who enforces that do not have jurisdiction to do that, but when it comes to the adding value to safety compliance, we also encourage them. And that should be done in a certain strategic limitation, because those people also add value to the economic development of the community. So what we in the JASCOM will do is to advise them on the best safe practice of doing that business, because that is a trade on its own. We earn the trade, but we have to provide a platform, a safe method where that trade can continue without posing a threat to occupational health, safety, and environment. So, like for example, during COVID-19 and some of the rural communities where there is no filling station, it is the operators of those black markets selling of fuel in jars and gallons. If you go to Edemeya in Ikorobasi, there is no filling station. Though the economic development and stimulus of that area is being powered by those operators of what we call black market, selling of hydrocarbon, kerosene, fuel, gas in gallons, and other small portables. So what we'll do in that direction is that we'll go and sanitize them on the kind of the jerrycan or containment they need to use in operation without using this plastic container, which can catch fire and explode at the temperature operation. We sanitize them, advise them on the best practice, safe operational practice, coordinate them with the sanitization and the safety directives. So with that, they will be able to comply while allowing those investors, those trade operators to still remain in their business, because now there's no job. If they can get that one and keep their family going, provide for their family, and the source of that deal, you have to add value and re-strategize on how they can do the business in a safe way without posing threat to the environment, safety, health, and the risks of other neighborhoods. When it comes to on the aspect of truck crashes in Jamaica, So, in fact, the mandate of truck crashes and responses, because the psychological situation, psychological imbalances of the driver alone ignites or stimulates most of the crashes. The decayed infrastructural instrument on the road can also induce these crashes, and also the visibility, the condition of the vehicle can also cause these crashes. The public awareness. How can you cross an express that you know that the users, the vehicles will be on top, speed? So, when the inauguration is completed after the conference, we will look at what road infrastructure or it's not available in federal government road and state government road in the state, and then populate data for restoration or for installation or for replacement. For example, if you go on, most of the road signs have been decayed and pulled off. So zebra crossing, a U-turn, and all that have been pulled off, which does not give the users of the road advanced information on how to manage the mechanical proper equipment. So based on this campaign, what we would do, we would then be able to do a survey on that and populate the infrastructure that's been decayed and recommend to the federal government and also to the state government, and also see what we can do by our own within our budget to fix them within the budget to ensure that the users of the roads are being protected and the road crashes are also minimized. What also causes most of these road crashes at times are unnecessary illegal barriers on the road. You go to a road where you have express road without information, you will see a lot of barriers, barricades, stone, palm tree thrown on the road. It's set up by the police, but if vigilante group. So to check one thing or the other without adequate advanced information. So all this will be checked. When we see, when we consider it imperative, then we allow it. When we consider it not necessary in such road, when it touches on the occupational health and safety and transport value chain, we will then advise on what to do. So on that, we still pull it down until after the conference. Though we have started the sensitization of the stakeholders in different parts of the local government to be conscious of these limitations and the resultant effects of crashes, accident, incident, and fatality. On the aspect of the what percentage, because it was expected that by 2023 and beyond, we will reduce the road fatality and incident to 50%. But we have gone beyond 50%. In some parts of the country, like Lagos, like Delta states, that the road transport fatality and incidents has been drastically reduced beyond above 50%. But in Akwa Ibom State, the strategy, the innovation, the establishment of this JASCON in the state and for them to commence work has been delayed because of inaugurations, sensitization, alignment with the critical stakeholders, local government, state government, and that has been taken care of. But it is expected that between now and the first quarter of 2025, we will be able to drive reasonable margin the compliance on the expected road safety and occupational health and environment in Akwa Ibom State. And in our next conference, like this in Port Harcourt 2025, we will be put on the program, we will be enlisted in the program, the degree of KPI that we have attained within the 6 months, which will be used as a reference to calibrate the level we will be in the next 5 to 10 years. On the aspect of the theme of the program, which talks about driving towards a safer and more sustainable future. So to achieve that, to be able to drive in a safe way and to even get to a sustainable future, you need to be safety conscious. Safety conscious of the risks associated with the vehicle you are using, the community you are applying your road, your vehicle, and also other psychological, social interferences. And the training, awareness given by the safety organization, compliant organization, Joint National Transport Safety Committee of Nigeria. It is through a conference like that. Because during this conference, there will be a training and sensitization, a seminar on the road safety compliance, occupational health and safety, environmental compliance. So it will prove and give a push benefit for the attendee of that program, because attendee of that program will be able to see the future and should be able to drive into the future by ensuring that he is safety conscious, security conscious, and conscious of other socio-economic influence. We will collectively, add up to promote safety on the road and hence that person from driving into the future. You cannot get to the future a rich person, a person that does not observe the safety concern, or is not safety conscious on the road, cannot get to the next future. His life will be cut off. So we don't want any to register to lose anybody. That's why we take our campaign. The campaign on the safety consciousness will be taken from door to door to ensure that nobody gets hurt and to achieve zero tolerance and compliance. So on the second aspect of the theme, promoting transport and occupational health and safety, risk and incident preventable culture. We want to achieve a culture. There has to be a culture, there has to be a tradition, safety culture, where all unsafe acts, unsafe conditions are preventable. If you have a preventable culture, armed robbers will have it difficult to penetrate your house, because we ensure that timely the gates are locked, communication are given to all the occupants, and also the safety alerts, security alerts, that if you have or if you observe any strange movement or you need a strange movement, unusual movement within the environment, a signal and the security and all that. So then also you look at, if you go to a filling station now, discover that the pump has been adjusted. The pump has been adjusted. This is unsafe culture. This is sabotage. So our intervention will bring a sanitization to all the petrol and hydrocarbon producers and sellers to ensure that their meters, dispensing meter, meet the compliance. For example, if you pay for 1 liter of fuel and they give you only 40% of what you paid for, that's economic sabotage, and it is unsafe acts. And it is one of our the enforcement strategy initiative that have been put up by Joint National Transport Committee, approved by the federal government, that we should check the filling station to ensure that there is no sabotage. Maybe selling a product that is not from the NNPC or depot, or adjusting the meter to sabotage the buyer, the public, which is unsafe acts and criminally oriented in nature. So all this will be checked, and that can be achieved through having preventable safety culture to prevent them from doing that, because prevention is better than cure. So at that point, bringing the sanitization and the capital punishment or the accompanying punishment to those who will involve, or those who are still involving in PPMS, meter adjustment and other associated sabotages. So it's part of our jurisdiction to check and enforce this. And the safety culture also in the community. The community finances, the community commonwealth, at times being diverted by an individual, is not a safe culture. So we can strategize to see that we develop a safety culture to prevent incident, accident, risks, losses of any kind within and across all sectors of the economy. The third theme, workplace safety, accident, hazard management tool. So, all accidents, incidents are preventable. So, these preventable and hazard management tools are being used in addressing this ugly situation. For example, step back for 5x5. So that before you go to your bed, you have to think, have to take time and think: is my gate locked? Are my doors locked? Are all my children, the occupant of the compound, are they in? And these are all hazard management tools. What are happening? I got the kitchen gas cooker locks and all that. These are all hazard management tools. And even in a workplace like JS, job safety analysis, they are all hazard management tools. That we use them in updating, the worker on the possible hazard, the possible risks associated in a given task. So, and that is for that. That is for that. And I think we've been able to address all the questions.
Let me just throw on like that.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Please, I think you also have other contribution. You kindly hold on. Maybe you could respond to this other. I think this other side and had a question to ask, because each of the media houses ask question that is pertinent to their area of concern, one way they would like to count their report. So let's have other members from this community.
Thank you very much. I'm Grace Uboma, Radio Nigeria Atlantic FM. I want to draw my question from 10.0. You listed critical stakeholders, and part of the critical stakeholders are not seen humanitarian affairs, are not seen women affairs. Now, my question is this: when incidents occur, they are the most vulnerable. Are you not trying to reach them? What effort are you doing to ensure that these ones get safety? 2, my second question is, you listed your activities. After the conference, are you not going to conflict with already existing agencies that are doing the same job? Thank you.
Right. On the
next, please, can the next person take it?
Okay.
So that I'll just handle other questions
one by one.
Okay, please.
Okay. So, on that aspect of it, those stakeholders we listed in the press conference paper are not exhaustive. We are still expanding alignment and collaboration. For example, with the NAFDAC was not captured. As of yesterday, we reached out to NAFDAC, and NAFDAC coordinator in Problem State is in alignment. We also communicate the need for women participation and consciousness in safety. We've written on to the Office of the First Lady of Akwa Ibom State and also the Commissioner of Women Affairs, and they have subscribed to the development. So during the conference, all of them will be on seat because we've sent our invitation to them. So nobody will be left out, because when it comes to safety compliance, safety is a collective and everyone business. Thank you very much.
Okay. Let's still have the Director of Operation.
Good afternoon, all. I'm Comrade Samuel Achibon. All right, my brother here talked about the issue of training when it comes to most of these gas dealers. So what is the Joint National Transport Safety Committee doing about it? I think so far so good, just like what my capacity chairman just said when it comes to the issue of training. We've drawn a plan for how we're doing door-to-door campaign to most of these gas stations when it comes to training. Because a situation where someone that is dealing on gas has no experience when it comes to how to use a fire extinguisher. So we are going to make it compulsory for all the gas stations or all the gas outlets. All right, for all the gas outlets to see how they can we can train them on how to use a fire extinguisher. The same thing to filling stations, all the filling stations, all the gas plants. We are going to make it compulsory for that training. Immediately after our conference on the 27th of this month, I think we are going to enforce that. That's what we'll do when it comes to that area. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Who regulates their operations?
Okay, I think it's the Joint National Transport Safety Committee of Nigeria.
Yeah.
Good afternoon all. Yeah, my name is Etienne Bourissien, the provost. In addition to what the Director of Operations just mentioned, I want to add to that if you go through most of the filling stations, they don't have safety officers. And we intend to make sure that each of the stations or agencies that has to do with this energy, oil and gas, have safety officers and fire watchmen, because it's going to be compulsory. A situation where there is an emergency, who takes care of that? None. So we have to make sure that that is established. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Let's have just the last lapse of discussion.
Thank you very much. My name is Julian Aigwa, Memories FM. I'm looking at 4.0 now. You talked about various national transport, occupational health and safety compliance, enforcement initiatives and directives. I want to ask, please, what steps have you taken to utilize or involve the media, most especially the electronic media, in your sensitization campaigns, creating awareness to the public on this various OHS compliance?
Okay.
All right, thank you. That's not a difficult one.
Yeah, that's not a difficult one, but we have done 30%. Proud to the commencement and completion of the conference and inauguration of the committee. But going forward, we're going to engage, including all the representative of media houses here, in our continuous sustainable public sanitization. On this national compliance initiatives, we are listed on our presentation conference paper, and also other compliance provision embedded in the laws within the state and the federal government law. So we will populate, have the media community, sustainable media community, that will be handled with the journalist endurance to enlarge the platform, include beyond the one we are having in these media chats, so that each of these initiatives, step-by-step sanitization, and the consequences of violation, it should be spread. Should be spread to all the communities, constituency, men and women, and the lover of this life and the next life, because you must live to be able to get to your vision, to be able to achieve your destiny. Yeah. If your life is off, your future is off, your destiny is off. You cannot even meet when the Lord Jesus Christ will come during the rapture. You will be there in the grave until you are being called. So I want everybody to stay alive and see the rapture. That can only be achieved when we have a sustainable, preventable safety culture and consciousness.
Everyone should stay alive and witness the rapture. Okay, I think Davina from the Daily.
Sorry, just a little.
Please, can someone pass me?
You talked about. Sorry, I'm addressing you.
Okay.
So you talked about some filling stations do not have safety officers, and you're going to commence enforcement. So I want to find out, how is the enforcement going to be like? Is it to seal off any filling station that does not comply, or they will pay a fine? Just be specific.
All right, I think when it comes to the issue of safety officers, we are going to sensitize them, making them see reason why there should be a safety officer on your filling station. Because most people are not aware. You can see someone go to filling station and they're making call where they're not supposed to make call. So that's why the reason for safety officer is very, very important. So the safety officer will be able to tell them, excuse me, my brother, it's not good for you to make call here. You need to shift away from this, axis. So we're not going to be, forcing them, but we know we are going to sensitize them, make them see reason why a safety officer has to be on their side. Thank you.
It is on that strength we will deploy and engage the media practitioners in the states across all platforms that will be able to convey the information on the need to have what we call emergency responder. Emergency responder, community unrest, accidents, casualty, and also the illegal invasion into the filling station. And this has to be communicated to the filling station owner through their different organizations and sections. On the position of the law, it is not going to be optional. It is the position of the Enforcement Directive Initiative. The law is that the emergency responder, which will respond to the fire and all other incidents and emergency situations in the filling station. That is why you have under that section 4, we will have enforcement directive that has to do with the critical operations that has the potential of explosion and inflammability. So, which involve filling station, because your activities is critically dangerous, and with that potential, the fire can take place, explosion can take place, other emergency can take place. So they shall comply to this enforcement initiative and directive, and show gradual sanitization. And the enforcement will take a share. After the sanitization, we might be given a warning sign, or warning letter, or a notice. After the warning notice, it might be a caution. We will be cautioned. And if you keep on not improving on that, there will be total sanction, arrest and prosecution. Because the law also permits us to arrest, prosecute, and seal the facility. And someone who breaks our seal should be arrested and put to jail or pay a fine, which some money about 500,000 for that. If you lose 500,000 for not complying to a mere provision of the emergency responder, which will be nominated, sent to us for training and certification, and then sent back to your filling station. We know that you are not a good businessman. You have to go home and then learn, or come back and learn on the leadership and business management and the productivity. So from us also, because we also have competent indigenous training service providers that offers qualitative training services to companies, to end users, irrespective the areas and the sector of that actually that the person may be of demand of. So we have it here. We have done capacity assessment, capacity verification of those service training services providers. So when you have a gap, a training gaps, it is a matter of communicating with us. We will then see what to do to close that gap. So that will be the sequence, the strategies, the procedure of enforcing compliance in that sector.
All right, please let's appreciate the ESCO, particularly the chairman of the JASCON Akwa Ibom State. All right, without much ado, this is how we will bring this press briefing and interaction to a close. And as I request that we all rise as we take the national anthem to bring this to a close. Thank you one and all. Thank you the members of the press. Thank you every other person. Thank you the leadership of JASCON Akwa Ibom State. And thank you others who work behind the scene to ensure the success of this press conference. We shall have the group photograph. Members of the press will come. Okay, let's have a closing prayer. On that note, I'm nominating the only lady here. I think from this other side, since someone from this other end.
Okay, Mike. They're talking to pray.
Please, can you lead the closing prayer?
In Jesus' mighty name, eternal rock of ages, we thank you once again for a good day. We thank you for a successful gathering. We said, let your name be praised now and forever in Jesus' name. Father, Lord, we hand over our going into your own hand. We said, as we are going accident-free, as you brought us here, we shall go back successfully in Jesus' mighty name.
Amen. All right, thank you one and all. This is how we bring this to a close. Thank you very much. Please, shall we have a good